Alright, we're going to go over how to do create a button in Android Studio. So starting from the beginning, that means you're going to first open up a new project. You can name this whatever you want, but since I am doing this as a homework assignment, I'm going to call it this. You can name it whatever you want. And go from there. The only thing, got to be careful, make sure this is right. If you don't have a company domain, you can just use that. Otherwise, it should be fine. So let's go ahead and get this started. You can play around with this. Things to look at is the percentage here. If you adjust this to something higher, say the newest one, you're only going to be able to use it on 8.1%. Not the best idea, so we'll stick with this for now. And whatever we make should be available for 90% of the users. Just a note, just because it's available to more users, that also means that you use some functions or some abilities. So empty activity, you can leave that how it is, and it'll start to open up a new project. Okay, two things to look at when we open up a project. Number one, you have two tabs up here. The main activity is the Java side. This right here is the XML. If you end up having some rendering problems, a lot of times that can have to do with whatever version you're using here. So if you change that, that should usually fix it. Some other things to look at down here at the bottom, you have the text of what's going on here, as well as the design. So pretty simple for us. We're going to just create a button. Take it, drag it over here, double click on it, call it whatever you want. We'll just keep it named new button, but if you wanted to, you could name it whatever you want. And look at the text. You notice now that I have my button, it has done all this. And if you were to go over to the properties and change things about it, that would automatically reflect itself over here in the text. Okay, so now once you've created your button over here on the XML side, we have to come over here to the Java side of it and code it for that. So we will start with declaring it. So we're going to just call it button. You notice here it gives us an error. If you press Alt-Enter, it's doing that because we don't have the button thing imported yet. So if I go over here, you can see that it will add button. I'm pressing Alt-Enter, and it just added it. No problems now. Okay, so once I declare it, I have to actually initialize it. So I'm going to go down to the bottom. I'm going to say button is equal to, and we're going to try find view by ID. And when we do that, we have to actually go through and find that path. So we are going to do it in this manner right here. As you see, we do have a little bit of an issue that's not giving us a button type, so we have to cast that to be a button. And you'll notice that things change now. That has been used. So what we've essentially done here is we've now basically made it so they can talk to each other. But now in order for us to actually be able to do that, we have to be able to actually listen to it. So we're going to do button set, and you can see that first one there, on click listener, this, which is a problem. You'll see here it doesn't have this, and that's because we are using the view.onClickListener right there. Once we do that, you'll notice over here it gives us this error, and that's because we have not made a method. But you will also notice that down here at the bottom that we no longer have an issue here. But we're going to look at the onClickListener interface, and it has one method that we have to do. So we are going to go ahead and go to that. And all we want to do is make a toast. So you see create a new toast, and you can type whatever you want in the string and you're good to go. So we will say hello. And you look at that, don't see any errors, so I go back over here and we want to, notice everything looks good, so we are going to click the green button that I just moved onto the screen, connect whatever emulator you have or your device. I already have an emulator open to save time. I press OK and I go to my emulator, and this should load here in a second. Yeah, sometimes this takes a while, but it does give you a pretty good idea of how. If you did want to connect to a device, you need to make sure that you have it set up in, I think it's called, what's it called? Let me check my phone real quick. Developer mode. And if we've done everything right, when we click on the new button, it should say hello down at the bottom. And there you see down there, hello. There you go. And there you have it.